Hello here, SleepyGodzillaCoffee. Cheers. So unfortunately, I am coming off of a defeat in a Crusade game, 2,000 point Crusade battle. But I would say it was very close, and it was by 8 Overwatch of that I got my Rogal Lords taken out by. It was one of those Marine double Melta unit guys, Anyways, he took out my Rogal Lord. He had 7 wounds left, and he took him out. It was fantastic. Couldn't expect anything better. It was absolutely wonderful. So definitely had a great opponent. Had a good time. Crusades are something else because there's a lot of plus and minuses added to the units. So I definitely use them as practice to get better and to, just to get the reps out, the games. So but this was my 2,000 point army list. Just kind of heading into it, and I'll kind of explain what I did and why I ran it, and just a little bit of stuff going on. Excuse me. So honestly, I have it set up to, this is exactly like kind of how I ran the list. For example, this Chimera is embarked with the Creed Combat Engineers, and I want to touch up on that here in a moment. But they're both identical unit, and it's 2 Chimeras with both double heavy flamers with scout, and they have a Cyclops demolition vehicle in there as well. So back on the Creed Combat Engineers, dude, I'm telling you, you pop these guys out, you park your Chimera, they scout, they flamethrower up, whatever. Hopefully they don't get blown up. They might get blown up, but Chimeras are tough, right? They pop out, they throw their grenades, which is 6 dice on 4 ups, you get mortal wounds, and then you get your melt mine, or excuse me, your remote mine coming out, and it's D3 mortal wounds. And if it's a vehicle, it's 2 D3 mortal wounds. So dude, you in theory with this one unit could pop out, and of course other units have the grenade strats, but this one has it for no CP cost. So for free, you're popping out, doing possibly, let's say you roll 3 on the first roll. Let's just say the full possibilities. 6 mortal wounds on the first with the grenade strat, and then your vehicle, you pop out and hit this melt mine, and now you're doing 2 D3 mortal wounds, and you hit all 3. What? You just did 12 damage with 1 unit? That's not to mention the Cyclops demolition vehicle that pops out. That Cyclops demolition vehicle pops out, it comes out, it automatically, you're gonna roll your dice, and on a 2 through 5, you're gonna get D3 mortal wounds. And guess what? If you roll a 6, you get D6 mortal wounds. So now, for 1 unit, you can pop out, hit these 12 mortal wounds, plus, you know what I'm saying? Plus another possible 6 mortal wounds. You're talking about 18 possible mortal wounds with just 1 Chimera? What? That's I don't even, okay. Just pop that thing up and just take out a Rogal Dorn? Okay. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways, so that's what I do. That's how I run them. I think they're cool, especially with the scouting. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, this and that. That's just I really get excited about this. So moving on, I've got the Hellhound with the Rogal Dorn tank commander. I've got the twin cannons with the double meltas. So I've got the meltas and the multi-meltas, and I've got the pulverizer cannon. And I just run those guys up. The Hellhound really responds well to orders, so you're not hitting that 4. I've got the double melta, so I've got meltas all around. This guy they kind of just pop up. I usually strat reserve these guys and just pop them up and delete whatever needs to be deleted at that point in time. So moving on, I have this unit over here, and this is such a sleeper little combo too. I'm sorry, you throw a Cadian Castellan in with the unit with your heavy weapon squad, and just kind of keep them in the reserve somewhere, just kind of hanging back, maybe doing some secondaries, whatever, and you just pop those dudes out, because let's say you're running against some custodies, or you're running against an army that's like more elite and they don't have as many units to just target. Well, the rest of your army is being targeted. These guys can just pop out, and I'll tell you what, dude, when you start hitting like, you know, 3 crack rockets with, you know, like hitting on, you know, they stay stationary one round, and then the next round they're like, they're just chilling, you know, and the next round they're gonna hit because they have heavy. So you're talking about hitting on 3s, and then you give them take aim. You know what I mean? You're hitting on 2s, and you have 3 rocket launchers coming at you with like hitting on 2s, strength 9, AP plus 2. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like nasty little. Everyone laughs because like it's believe it's like D6 once you actually wound them, but that's again 18 possible wounds that could happen just off of just the situation in the back. So I like that. And I have it with double bolter just because I love like bolters, backfield bolters heavy bolters are dope. Also, like, moving on, I love this combo. It is so good. It is so good. And I probably will swap out, I hate to say this, I'll probably swap out the plasma cannon for an auto cannon because I'm sorry, dude. Auto cannons, right? Auto cannons, bro. I'm telling you, dude. Like, look at this thing. Like, all right. So what you're doing is you're running your armored sentinels up first, all right? And like the thing is like you're running them as a unit together, so they gotta be in cohesion, or whatever. But like, dude, that's like a blocking, right? Where's my guy at? Hold on 1 second. Put that back on together. Dude, I'm telling you about this character right here before I even get into it, dude. This dude right here, this is Rick, all right? And it's funny because in the campaign, I gave him like the upgrades, so he's got the portal gun and stuff like that, right? And he's just a Cadian Castellan, which interesting to find out. Castellan means like Lord of a Castle, which is kind of cool. I don't know why I thought that was cool, but that's what it means. So, all right, this dude, I've been through like a bunch of battles, and it's like everybody around this dude will end up getting deleted, but because he's not really attached to the unit that he's with, it's like he ends up just living. It's just so crazy how some models are like that, right? So, okay, moving on. So this model right here, make sure I'm recording. Okay, so this unit right here, you take your armored sentinels, you run them together. They gotta be in cohesion, right? You take your scout sentinels, you run them in the back. They're there for like just like a scout would be, right? And adjusting fire, right? Because you have daring recon. It's give you 18 inches of daring recon. So what you're doing, you have these guys doing scouting, and like honestly, our last our crusade battle was like the one where it's like it's called, I don't forget the exact name of it, but it's like basically invasion, where you have the attacker and he's like piling in, and you're like the defender, and you get all the points for defending. Well, like I put these guys on each side, just kind of like box him in, because he didn't really want to take those mortals. It's just like, and those chimeras, dude, they're freaking tough, man. T9, like and that's not like T10. This is a Hellhound, I forgot to say that about the Hellhound, man. The T10, it's pretty tough, People underestimate the Hellhound's toughness. All right, so but like this unit right here, okay, so you're doing like 2 orders with the Castellan, right? And these guys are embarked in here. So now all of a sudden, like you're giving these guys 2 orders, because like these guys have regimental and squadron keywords, right? And so what you do is you're like doing fields of fire, which gives you the ability to select 2 units to improve their armor penetration, right? And so now you have auto cannons hitting on like because you're giving 2 orders: take aim, right? Take aim, right? So now you have like sentinels hitting on like 3s, and their auto cannons, with AP -2. Now like that's all ha ha ha, but it's like 2 shots at like 3 damage apiece, like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? Did you just delete another Vocal Dorn? Like, dude, the one orc truck just deleted the orc truck, and that's, I'm not saying like, oh, the bad, like, no, it works. It's like a really expensive combo, but it does work. And what was the other one that was like really surprisingly, like, it just removed it off the board? Like, it was something like crazy, dude. Like, anyways, like, it has a lot of firepower, but like it also has like a good wedging factor, because I've seen the armored sentinels go down, and the scout sentinels still be able to do damage in the backfield and just hold secondaries and stuff, because like for them to chew through 16 wounds, I believe it is, it might be 7, because like I know for a fact these guys have 7 wounds. So like, all right, let's chew through that. Now we got to chew through the chimera. By that time you're on turn 2, like strategic reserves pull up, and boom, 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 boom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're double melted. Like, hey, what's up, dude? Like, you know what I mean? And these guys, it's a trap. It's a trap, but you can't sleep on it, because there's so much concentrated fire coming out, because like this is double heavy bolter, and you just got like hella DACA, just da 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 da. It's like, it's nasty, dude. And then if you pop these, because these guys inside the Chimera, the heavy weapon squads, they've got their autocannons. So if they're doing their firing deck, it's another 2 shots. You know what I mean? That's not with the take orders, but you know what I'm saying? And not to mention the hunter killer, right? I mean, you could, in theory, it's only 1 CP to do the fields of fire, but you could do it and spend another CP and do like, or 2 CP, because like, let's say you're doing a crusade and you start off with like, you didn't upgrade your units and you just take the selection where you're going to start off with 3 CP points, or you added Kotias to your list, and then it's like, now you're gaining your CP points back because it's CP hunger, or you save them for later. And now all of a sudden you can even hit that Chimera up, like excuse me, that Chimera, you know, you could hit that with flexible fire, which lets a Castellan give orders to a regimental and squadron unit, keyword. And so like, you can now just like order everything. And let's say you gave him Grand Strategist, which is only 15 points. Now he can give 3 orders, and it's like he can just order everybody. Like, all right, boom, 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 boom. You know, you got 100 killers hitting on 3s and all sorts of bolts, your heavy bolters, and just crazy nonsense just from this one little unit. And it's like, if they don't attack that unit, it's gonna delete stuff. And it's gonna delete stuff good. It can delete everything from infantry to tanks. It's like whatever, dude. You can sleep on it, and it's mobile. You know, it's movable. So I love it. It's cool, right? And it's just a lot to chew through. It's flexible. So that's why I have those guys, and these guys are all ran together, and they're not ran separate. So they kind of sucks that you have to stay in cohesion. So moving on, I've got another little popper that I'll just put in, like, so let's say like I can just put that, you know, this because you can get 3 Cyclops demolition vehicles. I can do something like, either, depending on how my enemy is, I can pop in the front and just like kind of like put that in a part of the board I don't really want him to go to as much, because the thing is if the enemy comes near this, it pops. It doesn't wait for the shooting phase. It just is within it's like the 8-inch mark, or is it 3 inches there? Within the 3-inch mark, it's gonna pop. So if you move past it, boom, you hide it behind like a little ruin, like an L-shaped ruin, just hide it right there. It's like, okay, well, if you move this tank past this moment, you're gonna get a decent more wounds. Well, it's not that dangerous, but it's psychologically kind of dangerous, and it is something. Like, it could hit the, you know, you could roll the 6, and could roll the 6, and you're like, oh, damn, 6 wounds. Boom, right there. Or, another thing you could do is run it in the backfield to back these guys up. And that could just block a deep strike, right? You could just put this guy over, like, and he just stays back with these dudes as, like, a support unit, and just, like, really just, like, helps him, you know? But you can only run 3, and I like running this little boom, boom, boom combo right here. So it's like, you know, especially made for Titans, right? And not to mention, your armored sentinels are going to be re-rolling hits, wounds against monstrous vehicles and vehicles. So it's just like, yeah. Moving on, and this, excuse me, my voice is out. Let me drink some more coffee. Excuse me. So moving on, like, I kind of replaced, I had this like combo where I had like, my son loves Ghostbusters, so we put Ghostbusters on it, but like this little combo where I put the subductors in the Rhino and ran them up, and they're so hard to kill. Like, they're so hard to kill, right? But like, is that better? So that's 175 points. So the Rhino's 75 points, and it's 100 for the subductors, right? This is 95 points and 95 points. So you're at 190 points. For like 25 more points, I'm getting a lot more like concentrated fire with this unit right here. And to be honest, I will run like that Hydra over there, right? With the Rogadorn. And the thing is, if you run him with the Rogadorn, like, if you give your Rogadorn commander Grand Strategist, he's going to be able to have 3 orders. So he can order himself and have just the extra firepower. And again, people will sleep on like autocannons, dude. They're like so OP, and I'm not trying to be like, oh yeah, I know, like, this is based off of my experience. Like, I'm not trying to be like, this is just what I've seen on the board. Like, stuff just gets popped on autocannons. That's why I brought them back into the field, because you got AP -1, and you can flexible, or not flexible, fields of fire. It's like, okay, all right. And it's a Chimera chassis. They're not easy to pop. Like, it's T9, and you got movement 10, you know? And I put a heavy flamer on there. So, like, it's, you know, and if it dies, it's only 95 points. Like, whatever. That's 95 points. Like, I got 2 of them. And that's basically all they're doing, is showing like a blocker for what's really doing the work over here, which is my 2 Vanquisher cannons. Gotta run him as a Vanquisher cannon commander because he's gonna give the orders. And it's like, dude, you run 2 Vanquishers and just put them in the backfield or like wherever, dude. It's so devastating, dude. It like, until like people laugh at it and they're like, oh, hit or miss, but like you run 2 of them and it's like, okay, there goes a tank per turn, like for real, because they're sitting steady. And if I have the chance to, you don't want the Vanquishers in the backfield just deleting stuff. Like, that's not something you want. Like, and I'm not saying like, oh, you don't want this smoke. Like, no, like, I'm serious. Like, these dudes will pop vehicles, like 1 vehicle per turn, especially if they're sitting backfield. They got heavy and take aim. You're hitting on 2s, and then you can put daring recon on things, and it's re-rolling 1s, and it's like, yo, dude, wait a minute. Like, you know what I mean? It's D6 plus 6, so you could pop 2 tanks in 1 turn. Just boom, 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 boom. And that's not, like, listen, I've heard Necron characters play like, you better be ready to lose 6 vehicles per turn. I'm like, yeah, dude, I feel it. So, like, that's my answer to fire back. Because, like, you know, these Meltas, they're cool. They hit, like, a ton of bricks, and they will delete stuff, but they don't have the range. These Vanquishers only thing that have the range. And, like, these Hydras are good blockers. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Hydra's got some anti-infantry and everything like that, so it was an L, but like it was like a close one, and I'm very happy. This dude's been playing since he was 12, and like, you know, I'm not like, oh yeah, but like I'm happy to like be running guard. It's like you can really like afford to lose some units and like still bounce back. Like, there's one dude, and I would definitely recommend to go check his page out. His name's Mordian Glory. Dude is like a fucking OG fucking strategist tank commander. And he said, like, in the guard, he's like, guard can hit hard, but we hit hard back. And that's so true. If you really like get your stratagems up and everything like pinpointed, dude, it is so powerful. And like, I have the one friend, he's like running like Hammer of the Emperor, and he's got like a whole tank army, dude. It is so nasty. Like, when you got like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tanks, just boom, like now they're halfway down the field, and it's just crazy money. So, love the guard. Can't say anything bad about the combat engineers. They're a great unit, and that's just how the game ran. So, thanks for you guys watching, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Cheers. Later. Sorry about that. Quick recap. You gotta understand, like, when I'm doing these stuffs, like, I'm always tired. That's why I sleepy shadow, sleepy. I'm like sometimes tired, so shouldn't falsify information. If you guys hear me say anything wrong in the videos, please correct me. I thank you for the learning process, and I'm so grateful. So with the heavy weapon squad, I just want to take a double look at it. It's with the heavy and the take aim. You're only going to be hitting on 3s, so it's not 2s. But still, it's nasty and devastating. But I just wanted to kind of like touch up on that. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Have a good one.